66 million years ago, the reign of the dinosaurs ended in fire and ash. The undisputed kings of the planet were wiped out in a single cosmic heartbeat, but the Earth was not dead. In the shadows of this wasteland, the ultimate survivors emerged from their burrows. The age of mammals had begun. Fast forward millions of years. The planet had recovered, transforming into a lush, dense greenhouse world. The empty thrones of the apex predators were about to be claimed. Evolution produced nightmarish new monsters. In the north, giant, bone-crushing mammalian beasts, resembling demonic warhogs, took control. And in the isolated south, the dinosaurs returned, not as reptiles, but as 10-foot-tall flightless avian warlords, the terror birds. Following the extinction of the dinosaurs, the continent of South America was completely cut off from the rest of the world. It became a giant, isolated island. In this isolation, mammals remained mostly small and peaceful. Instead, the ultimate apex predator role was seized by the last descendants of the dinosaurs. The ferocious, known as terror birds, possessed skulls the size of a modern horse's, but armed with an eagle-like beak designed to shatter bone. They were the fastest-running birds of their size in history, capable of reaching speeds of up to 60 miles per hour. Their prey were bizarre native mammals, like the macrocania, a strange camel-like creature with a short trunk. The terror bird did not have teeth to hold its prey. Instead, it used its massive neck muscles to deliver devastating, axe-like blows. If the prey survived the initial bite, the bird would use its massive, scale-covered feet to deliver bone-shattering kicks. For tens of millions of years, these avian warlords reigned supreme in South America, completely unchallenged by any mammal. But the world was vast. While birds ruled the South, a completely different, horrifying evolutionary experiment was happening in the Northern Hemisphere. The early mammalian carnivores were not the sleek wolves or cats of today. They were bizarre, heavy, and monstrous. Meet Andrewsarchus. The skull of Andrewsarchus was nearly 3 feet long, equipped with jaws powerful enough to crush the shells of giant sea turtles. It was an opportunistic nightmare, scavenging dead whales on the beach or actively hunting heavy, slow-moving herbivores inland. But the ultimate crucible of mammalian evolution was the ancient, drying floodplains of North America, known today as the Badlands. In this harsh world of scarce resources, evolution created a scavenger so violent, so terrifying, it earned the title of Hell Pig. Despite their terrifying nickname, Hell Pigs, or Entelodonts, were not true pigs at all. Evolutionarily, they were closer to modern hippopotamuses and whales. The largest of these monsters, Diodon, was the size of a modern bison. It weighed over 2,000 pounds and stood over 6 feet tall at the shoulder. Their most horrifying feature was their colossal skull. It was heavily armored with bizarre bony flanges on the cheekbones, designed to protect their faces during brutal fights. Their jaws were an arsenal of destruction. The front teeth were pointed for tearing meat, while the massive back molars were flat and thick, perfectly evolved for crushing solid bone. With incredibly powerful neck muscles and long, fast legs, they were not just scavengers. They were highly capable, explosive ambush predators. Single, devastating bite to the spine or neck would instantly neutralize their prey. But hunting took energy. Why hunt when you can simply steal? A hell pig was the ultimate bully of the Oligocene Badlands, the undisputed apex predator of this era. was Hyenodon, terrifying, rhino-sized carnivore with a massive head composed almost entirely of razor-sharp slicing teeth. When a pack of hyenodons made a kill, the scent of blood would inevitably attract a hell pig. The result was a primeval standoff of epic proportions. Despite being fearsome pack hunters, the hyenodons were often outmatched by the sheer, devastating brute force and massive size of a full-grown hell pig. The hell pig wasted nothing. Its massive molars allowed it to crush the thickest bones of the carcass, extracting the rich, nutritious marrow that other predators left behind. But the Badlands were unforgiving, and food was scarce. The only thing a hell pig truly feared was another hell pig. Paleontologists have found Entelodont skulls covered in horrific, healed bite marks, massive gashes up to an inch deep carved straight into the bone by their own kind. When they fought, it was an apocalyptic clash of titans. They would lock their massive jaws onto each other's faces, using their bony cheek flanges as shields. For millions of years, sheer brute force and terrifying size allowed the hell pigs to rule. But the earth was changing again. The dense woodlands disappeared completely, replaced by vast, open, endless grasslands. To survive in this new world, prey animals evolved longer legs and incredible running endurance. This was disastrous for the hell pig. Despite its massive size, its brain was no larger than an orange. It relied entirely on instinct, aggression, and ambush. It could not outrun the new, highly adapted prey over long distances. And worse, a new type of predator was crossing over from Asia. The bear dogs were not only massive and fast, but they possessed highly advanced, intelligent brains. They hunted in organized packs, completely overwhelming the solitary, dim-witted brutes. Unable to adapt to the open plains and outcompeted by smarter pack hunters, the reign of the Entelodonts came to a violent end. The ultimate brutes were buried in the dust. The brute force of the hell pigs faded in the north. The absolute peak of the avian empire was just beginning in the isolated south. Evolution in South America took a radical path, turning birds into heavily built, bone-crushing tanks. Meet Brontornis, the heaviest terror bird to ever walk the earth. Unlike its slender, sprinting cousins, Brontornis traded top speed for raw, devastating power. Its beak was incredibly wide and deep, built to deliver crushing bites rather than slicing slashes. It hunted the megafauna of South America, actively tracking massive, slow-moving mammals like the heavily armored, tank-like Glyptodonts. Alongside this heavy tank lived forest raccoons, sleeker, more elegant, but infinitely more agile apex predator that dominated the open plains. Forest raccoons used its agility to chase down fast prey, using its hooked beak like a hatchet to deliver lightning-fast vertical strikes. But birds were not the only predators trying to claim the continent. In the thick gallery forests, a bizarre mammal arose to challenge them, Phallocosmilus. Phallocosmilus was a marsupial, carrying its young in a pouch, but it had evolved the exact same deadly saber-tooth weaponry as the placental cats of the north. When a terror bird and a Phallocosmilus met over a carcass, it was a clash between the ancient dinosaur lineage and the new age of mammals. The marsupial was powerful. It was often outmatched by the terrifying height, speed, and bone-crushing kicks of the giant birds. In the dense undergrowth, smaller species of terror birds evolved to target entirely different prey. Psalopterus was only 3 feet tall, but incredibly lethal. It used its extreme speed and sharp beak to hunt primitive rodents and early armadillos hiding in the leaf litter. For 30 million years, South America remained an avian paradise, completely dominated by these flightless warlords. But the ultimate law of nature is change. Deep beneath the ocean, the Earth's crust was moving, pushing the two Americas together. Around 3 million years ago, the Isthmus of Panama, fully formed, a permanent land bridge arose, connecting North and South America for the first time in history. The Great American Biotic Interchange had begun, a massive, unprecedented migration that would trigger an evolutionary apocalypse. Moving south were advanced placental predators, highly intelligent, lethal killers that the southern birds had never encountered. Among them was Smilodon, the true saber-tooth cat, a muscle-bound apex killer with 7-inch, razor-sharp serrated canines built to destroy megafauna. As these northern killers flooded into South America, they directly invaded the hunting grounds of the terror birds. A war for the planet was declared. The avian empire, which had survived the asteroid and ruled for millions of years, was about to face its final, ultimate test. The Great American Interchange was a one-sided slaughter. The placental mammals of the north, specifically the big cats, were simply too advanced, too fast, and too heavily armed. Smilodon was built like a bear, but moved like a lion. Its massive forelimbs were designed to wrestle huge prey to the ground, so its fragile, elongated canines would not snap during the kill. The terror birds, which relied on kicking and hatchet-like bites, suddenly found their hunting grounds invaded, and their prey stolen by these unstoppable feline juggernauts. Unable to compete with the sheer intelligence, pack-hunting strategies, and lethal grappling power of the northern invaders, the 30-million-year reign of the terror birds collapsed. The last dinosaurs are finally dethroned. The planet now belonged entirely to the mammals. As the Pleistocene epoch ended, the Earth's climate underwent another violent, catastrophic shift. The temperatures plummeted, triggering the Pleistocene Ice Age. Vast ice sheets, miles thick, covered the northern hemisphere. To survive the freezing temperatures, mammals grew to gigantic, woolly extremes, and following these new giants was the most terrifying mammalian predator to ever walk the Americas. Meet Arctinocymus, the short-faced bear. When standing on its hind legs, Arctidus reached an unbelievable 12 feet tall, towering over even the largest modern polar bears. Its remarkably long legs meant it could run incredibly fast, but its primary strategy was intimidation. It was the ultimate kleptoparasite. The short-faced bear bullied the ecosystem. The true lords of the Pleistocene were the pack hunters, Inoceandirus, the dire wolf. Dire wolves were not just larger, they were heavily armored bone crushers. Their jaws could exert 30% more pressure than any wolf alive today. Working in massive, highly coordinated packs, they could take down prey 10 times their size, exhausting them through relentless pursuit. But even the smartest predators in the Americas were completely defenseless against the ultimate, silent trap of the Ice Age. During the summer, rain would cover the tar with a thin layer of fresh water, disguising the sticky asphalt below. It was a fatal illusion. The mammoth's desperate, echoing cries of agony would act as a dinner bell, echoing for miles across the plains. Predators would rush in, eager for a free, helpless meal, completely unaware that they were stepping into the exact same doom. The Labri tar pits became the ultimate predator trap. For every one herbivore trapped, Up to 10 predators would follow it into the asphalt grave. Over tens of thousands of years, the asphalt swallowed thousands of the greatest apex predators the continent had ever produced. The Ice Age was brutal, but the greatest extinction event since the asteroid was still to come. The ultimate apex predator was about to arrive. Around 20,000 years ago, a new kind of predator crossed the frozen land bridge from Asia into the Americas. They did not have massive fangs, armor, or bone-crushing bulk. What they had was far more dangerous. They possessed fire, advanced tools, and a level of intelligence and communication no other animal could comprehend. The massive Ice Age predators, which had never seen humans before, did not recognize them as a threat. That was a fatal mistake. Humans were the ultimate endurance hunters. Working in large, strategic tribes, they could track and exhaust even the largest megafauna. By overhunting the massive herbivores like mammoths, mastodons, and giant ground sloths, humans systematically destroyed the foundation of the Cenozoic food chain. The specialized hypercarnivores, the Smilodons, the dire wolves, and the short-faced bears, suddenly found themselves with nothing left to eat. Compounding the tragedy, the Earth's climate began to shift violently once again. The Ice Age was ending. As the glaciers melted, global sea levels rose rapidly, and the vast, open grasslands that the megafauna relied on turned into dense, impenetrable forests and swamps. It was a perfect storm of climate change and human hunting. The specialized giants could not adapt fast enough to the disappearing open spaces. 10,000 years ago, the very last Smilodon, the last short-faced bear, and the last dire wolf quietly took their final breaths. The era of massive, monstrous apex predators, which began with the hell pigs and terror birds, was completely over. Nature favored smaller, more adaptable, faster breeding animals. The massive brutes were replaced by the sleek, modern predators we know today: wolves, pumas, and bears. But the monsters of the Cenozoic left their terrifying legacy, locked deep within the earth. Today, their fossilized remains stand in museums around the world, casting massive, terrifying shadows over the humans who outlived them. When we look at their massive sabers, their bone-crushing beaks, and their armored skulls, we are reminded of a brutal truth. The Earth is a relentless, ever-changing arena. Evolution cares nothing for size, strength, or absolute dominance. It only rewards those who can adapt the changing rules. The hell pigs, the terror birds, and the sabertooths were the absolute masters of their time, the ultimate expressions of biological violence. Their reign is over, but their legends will echo through the fossil record for eternity.